I have asked the commanding general, General Westmoreland, what more he needs to meet this mounting aggression. He has told me, and we will meet his needs. I have today ordered to Vietnam the Air Mobile Division and certain other forces which will raise our fighting strength from 75,000 to 125,000 men almost immediately. Additional forces will be needed later, and they will be sent as requested. This will make it necessary to increase our active fighting forces by raising the monthly draft call from 17,000 over a period of time to 35,000 per month.
By the fall of 1965, 150,000 American soldiers have descended upon South Vietnam. 250,000 North Vietnamese and Viet Cong are poised to meet them. The newly arriving Americans are about to get more than they bargained for.
God, you can feel the excitement building. We finally got intelligence that 200 NVA soldiers are in the hills of the Chu Pong Mountain.
UPI reporter Joe Galloway has joined up with the 1st Cavalry, one of the Army's new air mobile assault units. After months of fighting small, frustrating skirmishes, U.S. forces are preparing to launch their first major assault against 200 North Vietnamese soldiers using an experimental new tactic, air mobility. Equipped with UH-1 Hueys, the 1st Cavalry is designed to insert soldiers into combat using helicopters. For this encounter, they will make their first attempt at inserting a force of 450 Americans to fight the 200 NVA. But as the men prepare for battle, a potentially serious problem weighs on the mind of the commanding officer, Colonel Hal Moore. The spot where they will land, a small clearing designated Landing Zone X-ray, was chosen because of its close proximity to the enemy. It is too small, however, to land more than 8 helicopters at a time. With each chopper able to carry only about 6 men, it will take several hours to get all 450 soldiers on the ground.
Any commander's fear in a case like that, if you land and you've only got a few of your troops, less than 100, and the enemy comes on you, you're in a bind. If you go down, the LZ is the landing zone is closed, and whoever's in there dies.
At 10:19 a.m., Firebase Falcon, 5 miles from the landing zone, lets loose a vicious barrage of artillery into the enemy positions. The 28-minute onslaught is meant to clear the LZ so the helicopters can land safely. At 10:35 a.m., the first U.S. choppers lift off and begin the 13-minute flight to the landing zone. Four miles outside of LZ X-ray, the choppers drop to treetop level. In front of them lays a landscape of smoke and exploding U.S. ordnance. The barrage is intricately timed to stop just 1 minute before the soldiers hit the ground. If the timing is off by even a few seconds, they will risk being hit with their own artillery.
I was staying close to the tent where the radios were.
The radios were at brigade headquarters, so that I could hear if anything started happening.
This is 6-5, have negative contact, all the birds are blown to us.
Bravo Company is sweeping the area around the LZ. So far, all is quiet. Already, the choppers are delivering the second load of soldiers. Everything seems to be going according to plan. Until 11:15 a.m. Bravo's first platoon captures a single, unarmed NVA soldier. He's immediately taken to the command center for interrogation. At 11:20, the prisoner makes an incredible revelation. He tells the interpreter there are 3 full battalions of North Vietnamese soldiers on the mountain, and that all of them want very much to kill Americans. It's unbelievable. 3 battalions, that's almost 1,600 soldiers. No one can believe what they're hearing. We've got less than 200 men on the ground, meaning we're outnumbered 8 to 1.
Roger, say again.
Within minutes, U.S. and North Vietnamese forces are locked in vicious combat. While the men on the ground desperately attempt to keep the North Vietnamese from overrunning the LZ, the pilots of the 1st Cavalry continue to ferry in the remainder of the 450 men amid a vicious torrent of enemy bullets and rockets.
There are things about battle that movies cannot teach you, and that is the true, horrendous noise of battle. Bullets cracking, bombs landing, artillery shells exploding, people screaming. It's just a cacophony that's almost deafening.
After nearly 8 hours of battle, casualties are mounting and supplies are running low. But with night fast approaching, all further landings must be called off until dawn. The 450 battered Americans are on their own and will have to survive the night in the face of an overwhelming enemy.
Last night, the enemy launched several small attacks against our lines. The dead still lay where they were killed. It's too dangerous to try and move them.
Joe Galloway is the only correspondent at Landing Zone X-Ray. Of the 450 soldiers on the battlefield, 85 are already dead or wounded. Those still alive are desperately in need of ammunition and supplies.
Word is that reinforcements are going to try and land a few miles away and try to fight their way over to us. God, I hope they make it.
At the base of the Chupong Mountain are nearly 1,600 enemy soldiers. A few hundred yards in front of them stands only a thin line of Americans, pounded and exhausted from nearly 24 hours of constant fighting. The enemy's sporadic attacks during the night were to determine the most vulnerable points in the U.S. lines. Now they know the best way to breach them, and they are preparing to put this knowledge to use.